What's going on, everybody? Joey Crivelli here. Today, we're going to talk about how you can go from dead broke to millionaire within 3 years, okay? I myself am a 27-year-old from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Started in business when I was about 23, 24 years old, right around 3.5 years right now. And since I've started in the insurance business, which is what I still currently do now, included with some real estate. But more so, I would recommend for everybody to stick to one thing when they're building something and go all in on that. But over the last few years, I've made over $4.5 million. And I'm here to explain how, because I know there's a lot of young kids out there that want to learn how to do the same. I was one of them, right? I didn't grow up with rich parents, connections, resources, none of that stuff. But listen, guys, your first thing that you need to do, if I'm talking to a young 20-year-old kid, 19, 20, or even if I was talking to my younger self right now, you have to find the environment and the mentorship. If you don't find the environment and the mentorship, you're not going to learn how to change your ways of thinking, and you're always going to end up a product of your environment, okay? Where I grew up, the product of my environment was all drugs, violence, right? Bad stuff. Things that you don't want to be involved with, okay? I made it out of that. I went to the military. I got out of the military when I was around 21 years old, and I instantly knew that I wasn't built for a life where I wanted to get a salary, or I knew how much money I was going to make. I knew I needed to be in business where I could determine how much money I want to make. But the most important thing that I ever did is I found a mentor, and I found the environment that changed my ways of thinking. Right? Without that, I would have been stuck. Okay, now, once you find that environment, once you find that mentorship, what do? You want to be 100% coachable. You want that mentor to be allowed to destroy you, to pick you apart, to humiliate you, right? You don't want them to have to hold back and for it to take longer than it needs to. Because if you allow them to pick you apart, go hard, tell you the truth that you don't want to hear, you're going to learn how to make money. You're going to be more coachable. You're going to adapt to these different ways of life much quicker than if that person needed to kind of be a little bit softer on you. You know what I'm saying? So that's step number one, is finding that environment, finding that mentor, being 100% coachable, and allowing them to just tell you the truth, no matter how bad it hurts your feelings, no matter how bad you don't want to hear it. Okay? After that, you want to get into sales. And in my opinion, 100% commission sales. You want it to be all on you, okay? You want it to be all your fault. You want to be able to learn how to sell at a high level. You want to find a good opportunity. There's plenty of them, right? But the one that you do find, you should never stray from it unless there's people that are unprincipled, bad character, and a lack of integrity. But if that doesn't exist there, you should never leave somewhere just because you think the grass may be greener on the other side. That's going to come back to haunt you, and that's going to paint you as a disloyal individual. You stay with the people that put you on, that helped you, okay? Once you learn sales, a lot of people, they get to this point and they want to go ahead and build their own agency, build their own company, build their own business, become an entrepreneur, and there's no problem with that. But there's no way you're ever going to be able to do that if you can't put your pride and ego aside and understand that 10 people that are 50% of you are better than just one you. So even if you think that you're better than everybody else or nobody will ever be as good as you, you have to give up control and you have to trust these other people to help you build along the way, okay? At that point, it's all about duplication and multiplication. You impacting people's lives, you teaching people the right way, right? Now, it'll never, ever, ever work because God does not provide success and wealth long-term to individuals who do not deserve it or to individuals that he doesn't trust with it. If he thinks that you'll take that power and that influence and that wealth and that status and that attention and you will cause bad in this world, he will not let you have it permanently. He might let the success destroy you, right? Things that you thought you wanted could actually come into your life and hurt you and destroy you if you let it. So you have to have the right faith, the right principles, the right character. You want to develop your mind, your body, your spirit. Stay on top of your health. Stay on top of your discipline. Don't indulge in pleasure or in sin or in drinking or in partying or drugs or toxic relationships, right? People get the money and they instantly want to go do these things, but that's not the route you want to take. So the mentors you get, the environment that you get around, make sure, yes, it's about making money, about becoming successful, but more importantly, that it's about who people are becoming, right? For example, like with us, our team, we go to church every Sunday. We're in the gym every single morning. We're reading books to develop ourselves, whether it's sales books, whether it's leadership books, whether it's books on psychology or principles or character or philosophy or faith, right? We're always developing ourselves in those areas. And at that point, you just want to expand as much as you possibly can. Put yourself out there. That's the next step, is you cannot be scared to put yourself out there and to show people what's possible. If you just hide it, who are you impacting? Like, for example, I know that when we bring people onto our company, I know rather than them going to college or working a salary job, right, being around people who are miserable and negative, always talking about the bad things of life, or they go to college and learn how to drink and smoke and do all these types of drugs and then get hooked on going out every single weekend for the rest of their life. I know that if we take people and we bring them here, that they are going to get introduced to God, and that they're going to understand faith, and they're going to understand principles and character and integrity, right? They're going to understand how to be a good human being and not do wrong to other people, and use that wealth that we're teaching them how to get to impact other people's lives in a positive manner, okay? This is the route, in my opinion, that's going to get you to making $100,000 a month, $200,000, $300,000 a month, right? Sales. Every millionaire, every billionaire, they'll always say to get into 100% commission sales when you're young, and it'll teach you everything you need to know about entrepreneurship, because it shows you that life is a mirror and not a window. You always have to blame yourself and look at yourself on what you could be doing better. The last thing I would say is you need to understand that practice, right, is the most important thing. You can't just get on as many sales opportunities as you need to and eventually get good. You need to actually practice. You need to perfect your scripts. You need to perfect your craft. You need to perfect your industry and the knowledge that you have in your industry. Okay? You can't just think that you're just going to get on as many presentations or as many sales appointments as you possibly can and that you're going to end up getting good that way. You actually have to do film review, watch yourself, watch your sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to perfect your craft and perfect your scripts, do script training, do role playing with your team members, right? To the point where you are a master at your craft. If you guys have any more questions, you could always reach out to me. The link is in my bio. We're always hiring and we're always looking for new talent. Thank you.